are out and you stumble in the dark. You kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds. And when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me.
Well, good evening, race fans. Welcome to Sim Racing Media's live coverage of round number 2 of the 2022 season for the Next Level Racing 360s. After an exciting week 1 at the Knoxville Raceway, we venture over to Peevely, Missouri's Federated Auto Parts Raceway at I-55. Hope you're having a good Wednesday evening, everybody. My name is Drake York. Joining me is Tony Trapasso, and we're excited to bring you round number 2 of this season. Gunnar Harris picked up the win last week at the Knoxville Raceway, and a pretty exciting race. We had guys ramping up the side of the wall at Knoxville, something you don't really see there a whole heck of a lot in real life, or really ever. But Peevely is kind of a place we might expect to see that tonight. As Tony, you can't go wrong with the Next Level Racing 360s on a pretty chilly Wednesday night. I don't know what part of the world you're in, but I'd assume for most people it's pretty chilly.
Yeah, it's like 42 degrees here in central New York right now.
Yeah, it's about 41 here in Brownsburg, Indiana for me. But like I said, can't go wrong. It's a good way to wind down on Wednesday if you're watching with us on Sim Racing Media. I believe qualifying already out on the Speedway.
Yep, as we are following along with Connor Spear right now as he's hauling it off into, well, let me do this. Hauling it off into 1 and 2. So we got the track map up. Quick time for Connor.
You can follow along with who's on the racetrack right now at the bottom of your screen. Of course, we qualify everybody at once. So it definitely speeds up the process from what you see in real life at a wing sprint car race where they go one at a time or sometimes 2 at a time. Well, we get to throw everybody out there. on the racetrack at the same time makes it go a whole heck of a lot faster. And the thing is, they can't see the other cars, so it's not like racing somebody out there. You're just out there by yourself turning in a lap.
Absolutely. As Ty Schlobach goes up to 7th quick on his first flyer. Good head of steam on the second one.
Showblock had a good week 1, changing up the paint scheme here for week number 2 of the Next Level Racing 360s. Showblock stays down in 8th.
Gunnar Harrison jumps up to 2nd quick on his first one, doesn't improve on his second, as Blaine Brink out on track right now, taking the green on his first flyer. Sorry, he's on his second flyer.
Blaine Brink, not too bad of a week 1, but the guy who had the best week 1, Gunnar Harris, as you mentioned, currently second fastest at a 10.57. Spear currently the fastest. Then it's Harris, Steike, Helms, Avila, Hoffman, Robinette, Roundoff, Miller, and Showblock currently your top 10.
And looks like Liam Garrison not able to get a clean lap in. Ross Cornada not laying a time down as we've got about 30 seconds left in the session. Do want to thank everybody for joining us in the live chat. If you haven't done so already, give this video a thumbs up because it really does help share these videos with the YouTube algorithm. And if you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button and turn on bell notifications because we have racing 7 nights a week here on Sim Racing Media.
Yeah, can't go wrong with it, especially as we head into the winter months. Got to find something to do if you're not, well, down under or out in California, where they're still racing all the time. So definitely a good follow on social media, good follow on Twitter, Facebook, all that.
Absolutely. As Austin Drake just joined the session, as qualifying does come to an end, heat race number 1 getting ready to grid on up. As we are going to bring up the starting grid for heat race number 1. There you go.
Yeah, it's good. Connor Spear, your quick time qualifier on the inside of run number 1. These heat races lined up straight up off of qualifying. John Helms, 2, is outside. Hunter Robinette, Ty Showblock, row 2. Ashton Mueller, on the inside of run number 3 alongside Blaine Brink. Ross Quinta, keep your eye on him. He was bad fast at Knoxville in both the 360 and 410. We'll see what he's got here at Peevely. And to his outside, shotgun on the field, Liam Garrison.
8 cars scheduled to roll it here for heat race number 1. 11 laps, the scheduled distance. Top 2 transferred directly to the A feature.
And as I mentioned, lining up straight up off of qualifying, and I look at guys that start outside of a transfer, and you're probably going to hear us talk about this all night long. There's some good guys that are going to be stuck outside of transfer. Not exactly the world's biggest car count on iRacing tonight, but what we lack in quantity, we have in quality with the Next Level Racing 360. So going to be a good show. If you're tuned in, you're at the right place at the right time. Thanks for joining us as we're just getting fired off for the first heat race of the night.
Well, it's time for good news, bad news. Good news. We've only got 22 cars here, so everybody should make the A feature. Bad news, regardless of how many cars we get at this 3rd mile racetrack, it's going to be like jet fighters in a gymnasium.
I could not agree more. I'm not sure if any of our viewers out there have been to Federated Auto Parts Raceway at I-55. It looks smaller than it does on iRacing, I'll tell you that much. It's really something to behold. If you ever get the chance to go over there, go, because it's going to be something that you'll never forget. I've only been there for a USAC Sprint Car show. Bucket list for me is to see wing sprint cars around there in the real world. But we're getting set to go for heat race number 1.
Green flag, green flag.
Green flag comes out, Spear pulls the trigger, and we are underway just like that.
John Helms quickly tucks into the 2nd spot down the backstretch through 3 and 4.
Helm, Showblock, and Robinette in trouble as he puts one up and over. No yellow flag, though, as he keeps it on all 4. But the battle for the transfer spot, Spear, Heim, and Showblock just going after each other right now. They're already a 1.5 seconds to the clear over Liam Garrison in 4th, and they're already rubbing the wall.
That's what you expect here at Federated Auto Parts Raceway at I-55. And a reminder, there's no yellows in preliminary events with the Next Level Racing 360s. It's all green all the way through, and our feature will feature yellow flags, but this does help the show keep rolling. As here comes John Helms, big turn 3 slider, gonna carry it all the way to turn number 4. John Helms to the lead in car 21.
Helms just dove it in there going through 3 as we lost the overlay. Bear with me, folks.
John Helms still up front. Spear running back in that second spot. Spear that time got a little caught up in the fence, and that's going to cost him some time. John Helms, I was a little surprised to see him test the waters down on the bottom side of 3 and 4 all by himself up front. Oh, is that time he catches the wall. Spear into the wall too. Look at that show block to the inside.
Schoblich to the inside, up into the transfer spot as Spear just falling back right now, and everybody wearing the Hoosier off the right rear, trying to make some headway and punch their ticket already into the A feature. As white flag in the air, Helms and Schoblich walking away with this one.
It looks like they're going to be the 2 drivers that lock into the feature. Both of them defensive lines, 2, 3, and 4. John Helms will pick up the win in heat race number 1. Ty Schoblich going to the show with him.
Connor Spear, Austin Mueller, and Liam Garrison rounding out your top 5, as they are going to have to run alphabet soup as heat race number 2 already on track.
Starting lap to the inside of the front row, last week's winner in the 54. That's Gunnar Harris to his outside in one of the SpeedShop51.com entries. That's Ryan Avila. Jason Randolph in the Motorsports 47 to the inside of row number 2. To his outside from the Golden State, that's Jonathan Paquette. Ryan Frugier, Tyler Cowles, row 3, and Austin Jaruki lines up shotgun on the field. Actually, a SpeedShop51.com lockout on the front row for this one.
Beautiful cars out of that camp here tonight as they start to roll it behind the Chevy Silverado pace truck, the official pace truck of iRacing. Again, 11 laps of scheduled distance. Top 2 go directly to the A feature. Everybody else going to alphabet soup.
We talk about guys that are good starting outside of transfer, but the guys on the front row, look at the 2 SpeedShop51.com cars of Gunnar Harris and Ryan Avila. Those are 2 heavy hitters in themselves, but you got Randolph and Paquette back in row number 2. They're always contenders. Not exactly guys you would put at the front of your fantasy lineup if we did have a fantasy league, but they are competitive nonetheless and do have potential here at I-55.
They do at that as pace truck getting ready to peel it on off. Heat race number 2 getting ready to fire it. And just like that, we are underway in heat race number 2.
Harris on the break through turns 1 and 2. He's going to get the lead down the back stretch. His teammate files in right behind him. Both of them go through the middle side of the speedway through 3 and 4. Everybody else trying to bang the boards back behind him.
Those 2 SpeedShop51.com entries just walking this one right now as Jason Randolph, oh my!
Randolph into the wall, Paquette around Avila involved as well. Once again, no yellow flags, and that is going to shake up the order. Ryan Avila got caught up in the fence and off with nowhere to go, ran to the back of him. I guess you call it a conglomeration of cars got together off of turn number 4, and Tyler Cowles, the big benefactor. I think he started in the second to last row. He's up to second now in that final transfer spot.
Absolutely, as I do apologize, folks, is the overlay not liking heat race action apparently.
Tyler Cowles running back in that second spot now. Cool and collected, not really pushing the car a whole lot, and that's what you'd expect. A lot different mentality here from a lot of these guys in this second heat race. In the heat race number 1, everybody and their mother was banging off the boards around the Federated Auto Parts Raceway at I-55. Now everybody kind of tucked down through the middle as you see Cal step up to the top side, still not as high as they were in heat race number 1.
Gunnar Harris already out to a 2-second gap over second place Tyler Cowles, as everybody pretty strung out now, and a lot of damaged cars, a lot of bent Z-links, as everybody's struggling to get those cars around here. Jonathan Paquette trying to carve his way back up through the field in the 48 as he goes down to the low side to try to search for some grip, as Gunnar Harris just walking away with this one.
Yeah, Gunnar Harris, probably one of the few guys still putting it up towards the fence, just as I said, he drops down low.
That's the checker.
Gunnar Harris is going to get the win. Tyler Cowles will be your second and final transfer into tonight's feature event.
Heat race number 3 starting to grid up right now. As hopefully we've got... Nope, we don't. I do apologize, ladies and gentlemen. The live timing and scoring does not like the iRacing heat race format. But we are trying to muddle through here. There we go.
The inside of the front row, and keep your eyes on this hard charger. Kenny Hoffman will line up to the outside in that distinctive pink and white number 11 entry. Kevin Miller to the inside of row number 2. To his outside, Dustin Sargent. In final row, Terrell Wheeler and Randy Shreves. That's your 6-car starting field. Top 2 transfer to the feature event, 10 laps the distance. In heat race number 3. And we were watching that last heat race, and we saw the line moving down. My big question is, will we continue to see that? I have to wait and see, because we saw everybody bouncing off the fence at both ends of the speedway. In heat race number 1, everybody started to move down, and that last heat race, but still fairly high on the racetrack. And it's slicking it up a little bit. That's going to open up some lines, maybe shut down a line or two. So dirt racing, it's always a wait-and-see game, but we're about ready to see what we've been waiting for here in heat race number 3.
Absolutely. As the pace truck peels it on off, coming through 3 and 4, Steinke has the trigger, pulls the button, and off we go.
Steinke with a good start, and here comes Hoffman. He's going to find some speed around the outside. Does he go low? Yes, he does. He's going to take a shot down in 3 and 4. Hoffman with the big turn 3 sliders, going to get it for the moment. Steinke back to the inside.
Steinke and Hoffman trading sliders with each other here in the early going as Sargent and Miller go wheel to wheel, coming through right behind them. Right now, Hoffman with the advantage in the breast cancer awareness number 11. Trying to make something happen here. He's hoping to get the best starting position in the A feature that he can get. Steinke right on his tail tank.
Like what Steinke did down there in 3 and 4, stayed mirroring the top all the way through the corner, and that really helped him. Hoffman must have realized what he did behind him to get to his bumper, and he takes that line away. Now, as I mentioned in that heat race just prior to this one, everybody was running lower. Now everybody's back to the boards at both ends as Hoffman throws a few sparks off of 4.
Absolutely. Everybody going to be wearing that Hoosier off the right rear tires tonight. Running the proverbial Larson line, as it's jokingly referred to in the iRacing Dirt Series. But, oh, come on.
Oh, wow, those two have still separated themselves from the rest of the field. You got to hand it to them, because the way they were racing earlier, I thought there was no way they were going to get away from the rest of the field. But a little bit of teamwork here, whether it's teamwork or not intentionally, is what's got him ahead of the rest of the field and comfortably in a transfer spot. No reason to really throw it away right now. If Steinke's got to run, he's going to make sure he's going to take it as far as he can into the corner, not allow him and Hoffman to put themselves in a bad spot with the white flag waving. 1 lap to go. Here's Steinke down to the inside part of the speedway, trying to dig some grip out of turn number 2, but Hoffman has the momentum.
Hoffman using the top side to come home with the heat race victory. Steinke transfers into the A main. Sargent, Shreves, Miller, and Wheeler rounding out your finishing order here in heat race number 3.
That was an exciting one between the front two. No question about that one.
As C main starting to grid up right now.
Main starting lineup, and after qualifying did not expect to see this driver in the lower main. Connor Spear, your quick time qualifier on the pole for tonight's B main event. To his outside, Dustin Sargent. Austin Drucke, Liam Garrison make up row number 2. Kevin Miller, Jonathan Paquette, row 3, and Hunter Robinette, your 7-car starting lineup for the C main.
Just waiting on Spear to bring that car to the grid. Doing some last-minute adjustments, apparently. There we go.
$12 laps the scheduled distance tonight for our C main events. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe we'll take everybody out of the C.
Should be. We don't have a full field, I believe that it's 24 for a full field. We do not have that number in the server right now.
That's what I thought, but, you know, I'm often wrong, so.
You are absolutely correct in this point.
I'm not even married, and I know that. I think I'm doing great in life so far.
Absolutely. As you can see, it's starting to get slick through the midsection of the track. These guys are really going to have to tune on those adjustments as this night wears on.
Well, there's an in-car adjustment for these guys. Like non-wing guys have shock adjusters. Cars do not have that, but they can move the wing back and forth. So if you put that wing back, adds more downforce on the rear end of the car, which is probably what you're going to see a lot of these guys do, considering the racetrack is slick. Curious to see. I don't think we'll see it tonight the way the track's shaping up. We could see some guys throw it in the trunk as green flag is out in the C main event. All these cars going to go to the feature later. They're basically just racing for a better starting spot.
Well, they're also trying to figure out what the track is going to do as this night wears on. As Spear trying to figure out how to, or Sargent trying to figure out how to get by Spear. Drakey is right behind him, as is Miller.
That's going to be interesting to see these guys work. I believe the finish of this will line up the last few outside rows in tonight's feature event, as one car absolutely goes full Kyle Larson and Darlington on the wall through turns 1 and 2. That might have been Miller, but nonetheless, everybody keeps it straight. We keep it going. We stay green.
Actually, that was Drakey in the 22 on the top side as he's banging the wall again. Miller and Sargent now go rub rail to rub rail. Sargent on the top side keeping it wound up as Miller trying to find some grip way down on the inside rub rail.
And like I said, I think it's worth mentioning that one spot here is worth basically a whole row forward, so there's a lot of incentive to trying to push as hard as you can go here in this C main event. Same rules apply for the B main event later on, but we have 6 more laps to go in this one.
6 to go as Spears already carved out a full second over Dustin Sargent. There he is in the 77. He's 3/4 of a second to the good over Kevin Miller. And then it gets tight as Robinette and Drakey going after each other.
And like I said, they have every right to go at it the way they are right now, because that spot right there, I should say, is worth 1 row in the feature event. Austin Drakey trying to get some momentum going up on the high side. I think it's just starting to wear out up there. It's really far around. Sargent's really been the only guy I've noticed to make the top side work in this one, as he is absolutely banging the boards ahead of this amazing battle for third.
Absolutely is these guys are playing a high-speed chess match. As we are popsicle sticks in the air, white flag actually in the air, is Spear just walking away with this one.
Spear's going to lock up this one. Miller slipped up off the bottom there momentarily, but up front, it's all about Colin Spear. He'll win the C main event. The race for third is going to come down to Miller. So it's Spear, Sargent, Miller, Robinette, Drakey, Paquette, Schneider, and Garrison, your field here in the C main.
And Schneider was a last-minute entry into this one, as here we go for the second semi, as starting grid up on your screen right now.
Free J to the inside of the front row, to his outside, Ashton Mueller, Randy Shreves, and Jason Randolph back in row number 2. Randolph will be a fun one to watch in this one. He's always entertaining no matter where he goes. Blaine Brink and Terrell Wheeler, row number 3. Ryan Avila, you may remember he had a big issue in his heat race, got in the wall, got into a crash, and never really could recover after he sustained damage. He'll be another fun one to watch from the inside of row number 4, and Ross Correnta rounding out the field.
Unfortunately, Correnta not partaking in this race. So that's a downer. We only got 7 cars going to be rolling it here.
Again, where you finish in this, I believe the B main will line up the inside rows. So the last 8 inside rows, they finish in this one. That's
correct.
We'll determine that. I always get it mixed up with the B and C. You know,
well,
I've been doing this for long enough.
iRacing does it differently. Normally, it progresses you up, but because we have a short field here tonight, it's the semi 1 and semi 2 instead of A and B, or B and C mains. But Face Truck is already in. Fruge has the button, pulls the trigger, and semi number 2 underway.
Ryan Fruge, I think, is giving us a glimpse into the future of what it's going to take to win the B main event. He was low and slow through turns 1 and 2, trying to keep that car really straight, but that may cost him, as here comes Ashton Mueller in the number 11 to his outside. Mueller going full Donnie Shot style through the middle, trying to make a move.
And as slick as that track is, oh, contact coming off of 4. That could have ended poorly.
Don't look now. Here comes Ryan Avila making it 3 wide for third. There was contact down the back straightaway. They slide up the speedway, and they keep it going. Randy Shreves was the other car involved. They keep it going, but Avila relegated to 6th as Shreves back in 7th now.
Mueller trying to figure out what he's got to do to get up there in front of Fruge. As here comes Brink just sending it around the outside. We got one around. That was Wheeler going for a ride.
Wheeler, I don't think he tipped it over, but if I'm not mistaken, I think I saw him make contact with the inside retaining wall on the back straightaway.
He absolutely did.
So that probably, I'd have to imagine, messed up something in the front end. So that car's probably not going to be driving too fantastically the rest of this event. Ryan Fruge holds the command up front. Brian Brink in second. Ashton Mueller a few laps ago had a big moment in turns 1 and 2. Got that car rotated a little bit more than I think he would have preferred. He's still running in third, but here comes Ryan Avila. He's already had adversity that he's had to face tonight. Had that big crash in the heat race, and then just got together with somebody a few moments ago in the B main. But he is hard charging around the outside, moving him up to third down the backstretch.
Currently up into third as Mueller is starting to backslide, trying to run that low line, and it does not seem to be working as he cannot get any drive off the corners right now. Top lane starting to come back into effect as rubber gets laid down. We are popsicle sticks in the air.
There's Ryan Avila. He splits the difference between and Fruge for that second spot. He sets his sights on Fruge. Brink's going to throw another Hail Mary attempt at him. Avila comes back to the inside, 1 to go. Does he have anything for your race leader? Avila shoots it off the top side of turn number 2. They're side by side through 3 and 4. Out the line off at turn number 4. Ryan Avila's going to get the win in the B.
Fruge coming home in second. Brink, Mueller, Randolph, Wheeler, and Shreves rounding out your finishing order.
How about it for Ryan Avila? Came from deep, was involved in a little skirmish earlier in the B main event, comes back to win the B main event with the last lap, last corner pass in that SpeedShot51.com 49.
Absolutely, and as they get ready to do a warm-up, we are going to step away, pay a couple bills, and we'll be back right after this.
Welcome you back live to Federated Auto Parts Raceway at I-55 for round number 2, Next Level Racing 360 Sprint Car Series. All the preliminary events are done, and it is now time for our 35-lap feature here at Federated Auto Parts Raceway at I-55 for the Next Level Racing 360s. Your lineup to the inside of the front row will be John Helms, leading him down to the green flag, and to his outside, last week's winner at the Knoxville Raceway and current points leader, Gunnar Harris. Hoffman in that breast cancer awareness number 11 machine will roll off on the inside of row number 2, and keep your eyes on top show block starting on the outside of row number 2. Tyler Cowles avoided all the chaos in his heat race to start on the inside of row number 3, and to his outside, Josh Steinke. Hunter Spear, quick time qualifier and C main winner, will line up to the inside of row number 4, and to his outside. This driver's had his fair share of problems to come through tonight in the SpeedShop51.com 49. It's Ryan Avila. Dustin Sargent, Ryan Frugier make up row number 5, and it's Kevin Miller, Blaine Brink, that will start in the 12th spot. We go back down to row number 7, Hunter Robinette and Ashton Miller, Austin Jaruki, Jason Randolph. That will be an exciting row number 8 to come from. Jonathan Paquette from the West Coast will start 17th, Terrell Wheeler in 18th. Garrison will go from the inside of row number 10 and 19th, and to his outside, the 56 of Randy Shreves.
35 laps of scheduled distance here tonight. Cautions do not count. We will have cautions, but the laps do not count. So I do apologize ahead of time in case timing and scoring decides to go haywire on me. Drake, take us home.
Well, Ryan Helms and Gunnar Harris set the pace. Down to turn number 4, week number 2 of the Next Level Racing 360s is green at Federated Auto Parts Raceway at I-55. It's John Helms on the breakthrough turns 1 and 2 down the back straightaway.
Hoffman trying to figure out what he's got to do to get by Gunnar Harris as Harris eats the wall. They're 3 wide behind him. That show block up through the middle.
The racetrack really slicked off there after the B main, and it is opening up for multi-groove racing as everybody trying to find a line that works for them. Ryan Frugier, he finished second in the B main event earlier, just trying to sort his way through the chaos. In car number 65, he runs inside the top 10 and 9th.
Battle heating up again between the two SpeedShop51.com teammates as Harris and Avila have found each other.
They started on the front row of their heat race. They kind of got separated through the chaos, and now they find themselves running 3rd and 4th, back behind another SpeedShop51.com car of Kenny Hoffman. Hoffman looking to the outside of Helms. Helms has had the lead as one car on the wall off at turn number 4 is one of those SpeedShop51 cars.
Harris. Oh my!
Car upside down. Cowell's upside down, and I think he collected a few more with him in turn number 2. First yellow of the evening.
Bear with me, folks, as I'm trying to find it.
Gunnar Harris might have got caught up in that one, as we'll take a look at the replay on board here with Terrell Wheeler. Through the middle of turns 1 and 2, so it'll be this next time by. And you're getting a good look here on Terrell Wheeler's car of how many grooves there are. You could already pick out about 4 or 5 already. This racetrack ultra wide. They were crashing up in front of him and just got collected in that one. Severe front end damage to the front wing. Probably a lot of the front end components on Terrell Wheeler's car.
Absolutely. As now we're going to take a quick look at this Randy Shreves, what he saw.
Yeah, Shreves was running pretty far back. I'm trying to figure out where this starts. I know it starts somewhere in the top 10, because I know Gunnar Harris was involved.
Well, it was 2 separate incidents. So that's what happened with that one. And then we're going to go take a look at Harris here. There he is.
Racing side by side with his teammate Avila right behind Hoffman. That's for the 3rd spot. We're going to come around. Let's see what happens. Be the next time because he's cleaning green.
And just like that, we are already under our 2nd caution. We're trying to figure out what happened with Harris under the 1st caution. Oh, there it is.
He gets in the wall. He wall rides it right there. Show block to his inside.
Oh my! Puts it right out of the park.
He collects Tyler Cowles, and then you talked about that follow-up incident that
Hunter Robinette bringing out the 2nd yellow. This is what brought out the second yellow on the restart here. There is Robinette in the 7. Sorry. Robinette in the 99 being scored as the 7. This is why we don't let tech officials drink when they're handing out transponders. Wow, what a shot.
Free J just came spinning down the racetrack, and he gets a how do you do from the rear end as well.
Yeah, that was Mueller with nowhere to go. Luckily, everybody stays on the lead lap from that one.
Green flag, green flag.
Back underway, John Helms lead us down as more cars piling up into turn number 1.
Miller eats the wall.
Miller big time into the wall. I'm sure that tore up some stuff on the right rear too, because he gave that wall a shot.
Yes, he did. As Hoffman and Avila going after each other now for second. Both of them trying to figure out what they got to do to reel in Helms.
Right now, I think the best course of action for both of them is get ahead of one or the other. Oh, attacks the back of Helms. He's into the wall. And already down in the work area. Ryan Avila, the comeback story is going to come to an end for the 49 car. Up front, John Helms still large and in charge. I'm not sure if he bobbled on the cushion and Avila tagged the back move and then went up to the fence, but John Helms' competitors starting to dwindle out behind him as he is clear of all the chaos so far. That's one advantage of being up at the front of the field. He has led every lap since the drop of the green. Jonathan Paquette trying to cut his way through the field. He currently runs back in 7th, looking to the inside of Liam Garrison for that 6th spot. And here comes Randy Shreves. He's at the tail end of the field, a few laps to go, and he is into the top 10, racing for 7th now with Paquette.
Gets a nice Spanish archer from Paquette, the old elbow going through the corner. Everybody keeps it pointed in the right direction. Paquette, though, trying to figure out what he's got to do to keep Shreves behind him. Shreves having none of it. They're almost 3 wide down the back chute.
That really opened up the door for Jason Randolph in that 47 car. He is another one that has had quite the eventful night. He's trying to make that a 3-way battle. Go back up front, Joshua Steinke. He's had a pretty quiet night. He transferred straight out of his heat race, started up towards the front in the feature, and has done a great job steering clear of all the chaos. 20 laps to go in this one, 15 in the books. Go back to that amazing battle between Shreves, Harrison, and Paquette. Randolph, that battle as well. Actually, Shreves has cleared that group. He's cleared into the 6th spot. You see Shreves right there. He's another one of those guys that was, like I mentioned, just not too long ago at the very tail end of the field trying to...
Oh my!
The car's one car up in the wall. I believe that was Liam Garrison in the 10. Indeed it was.
And immediately puts it out of the park.
Peevely will chew you up and spit you right out. There's no doubt about that. Moves Paquette now into the 7th spot. Still not clear of Jason Randolph. Meanwhile, battle for the lead. 16 to go. Helms up into the wall. He keeps it on all fours, but Kenny Hoffman, your new race leader.
Hoffman dove to the inside. I think that spooked Helms as he ate the wall. And these guys are just using up those right rear tires. I don't think there's going to be any lettering left on any of these cars when this race is over.
I think they wore most of them out after the heat races, definitely after the beat, but nonetheless, Kenny Hoffman up front now. He's had a solid season, both in the 360 and the 410, trying to put that breast cancer awareness car in victory lane, but this fantastic battle continues back behind, racing for 7th, and we are yellow. Ryan Frugier, the culprit.
Let's take a look at what happened here. Up on the high side through 1 and 2. A little bit of a bobble there, trying to catch it in the slick stuff. Eats the wall again. Looks like he bent the front bumper and the drag link hitting the wall there. And around she goes.
Robinette tags the back of Ryan Frugier in turns 1 and 2, so that's going to put him out of this one. And back under the yellow flag we go. This one's been entertaining start to finish. I'm curious if John Helms really tore up that much stuff on the top side of turns 1 and 2 when he smacked the wall big time. I'd have to imagine he did, but sometimes these cars can be really durable in surprising ways, so we'll just have to wait and see if Helms can mount a comeback. But for a while I'd say definitely the first half of the race, Helms the dominant car, and for the time tonight, he is on the outside of looking in of the lead.
Pennsylvania Posse member Kenny Hoffman going to have the button as the pace truck is off, beating and banging. He waits to the last possible second to pull the trigger, and we are back underway, 13 to go.
Look who has snuck his way into the second spot there on that restart. Ty Showblock. Showblock, one of the regular contenders here with this series. Can he get to Hoffman? And if he gets to Hoffman, does he have a move to make a pass for the lead? He really wrestles that car around the high side of turns 1 and 2. Right in the tire tracks of Hoffman as they rocket up off of turn 4.
Helm's going to slide into third as Steinke and Brink, Shreves and Brink going after each other for fourth position.
Oh, Showblock trying something a little bit lower as Helms continues to hold off Steinke, but the question is, does Showblock have something for him? I just noticed that last lap Hoffman a little sideways off of turn number 2. Obviously in wing racing, the name of the game is momentum, and how do you keep up momentum? Keeping that car as straight as possible. Hoffman doesn't want to have that happen again as the rear end steps out again off of turn number 2. Showblock has got to notice that he is better right there. He looks through the middle in 3 and 4, nothing doing there.
Absolutely no grip in the middle where Showblock put that car, but the exit of turn 2 is definitely starting to go away and going away badly.
I think Showblock's eyeing that black part of the racetrack. He probably thinks there's rubber down there, and there could be. Question is of how much rubber is there and how much grip does it have? He's searching all over the racetrack. Credit to him. He's not just following Hoffman around. Hoffman changes up the game plan there through turns 1 and 2 as they're going to turn for 5 laps to go this time by the stripe.
Well, as the old saying goes, if you're not the lead dog, the view never changes. I think
Like that.
I think Showblock is getting a little bit tired of staring at the tail tank of Hoffman's car, as now throws it a little bit lower, and we've got side by side 4 to go.
Oh, there was something down there on the bottom of 3 and 4, and Showblock hit it. Here's Hoffman to the inside. Hoffman trying to take that line away. No, he's going to throw a slider. Showblock to the inside. 3 to go here at Peevely. Showblock to the inside. Maybe contact. Helms to the inside. 3 wide off the corner for the lead. 2 to go this time by the stripe, and Helms has thrown his hat in the ring.
Popsicle sticks in the air. Hoffman, Helms, Showblock walking away with this one as they're going to settle it between the 3 of them.
May be a factor in this one. Showblock goes back to the bottom trying to find the rubber. He slips up out of it. White flag is out.
1 more lap to go. Hoffman leads it down the back straightaway. Showblock currently sitting in second. Helms goes to the low side for third.
Hoffman rides the low line to victory lane here at Peevely. He took the line away coming to the checkered. A great defensive mover as he's going to lock up the win on week number 2 at the Next Level Racing 360s. Showblock second, Helms third, Steinke fourth, Blaine Brink is fifth as Hoffman's going to burn it down in turn number 4. An excellent drive by the driver of the number 11 SpeedShop51.com car as he gets a little love tap there from John Helms. Hoffman is your winner week number 2 with the series.
As we are just waiting for the drivers to get into the Discord server so that we can talk to them. But Drake, what a race we just saw. I don't think I've had this much excitement in a race in quite a while doing the pavement stuff that they've had me on. It is so good to get back to my dirt roots.
No kidding. Well, when we showed up to Peevely today, we knew that this was a distinct possibility that we could have amazing racing like this. And I believe we got Kenny Hoffman in the server right now.
You got Kenny Hoffman with you, sir.
I do indeed. And Kenny, congrats. That was a fantastic drive. Showblock was trying to lower line through 3 and 4, possibly a little bit of rubber down there. Were you kind of eyeing going to the bottom, or you know that you had to stick to the top to secure the victory?
Nah, I felt like 3 and 4. I felt really good on the top. I noticed there's actually quite a few laps I wasn't, hitting my marks the way I wanted to, and that was just allowing Ty to get in closer position there. So I felt like if I could have done a better job myself, hit my marks a little bit better, I felt like we could have had a more comfortable win, I would say. But we weren't able to. I wasn't able to, hit my marks right, and just kept opening the door for those guys behind me. So, but just happy that we were able to stick it out there and pull away with the win.
For turn number 2, it looked like the rear end of your car was not very stuck to the racetrack. It looked like it would kick out a bunch. What kind of your weak spot on this racetrack?
No, I actually had some damage there, probably halfway through the race because of John getting into Ryan, and I was just right there, I had nowhere to go, and I had to suffer from some wheel damage with it, and then so I was kind of just fighting the car more and more, and then going whatever lap it was when we went into turn 1 and 2, me and Ty made contact. So shot me up into the wall. So definitely dealing with a lot more troubles than I probably should have that race, but the only thing that matters is that we were able to stick it out.
Indeed. Anybody like to thank for getting you in victory lane tonight?
Yeah, just shout out to everybody 51 Esports. I know Gunnar and Ryan, they didn't have the nights they wanted, dealing with so much fortune there, but just they stuck in the race when their instant happened, helped me out the best they could. So really appreciate those guys and everybody else with 51 Esports and Speed Shot 51, and huge shout out Clayton Tilley for everything, and thank you guys for coming in here and putting the broadcast together for us to watch. And then also thank you to Sparky for running the 360 league as well.
Hoffman, you're winner of week number 2 with the Next Level Racing 360s here at Federated Auto Parts Raceway at I-55.
And joining us now, the man who finished second to him, Ty Schoblock. Ty, do you think you do you think you made the move too early and then left it a little too late at the end?
Honestly, I felt like I was, if anything, too cautious early. I mean, I was just trying to stay in the race. I didn't have a couple of the restarts. I didn't have the best start. Kind of got trapped in an area I didn't really want to be on the track. The area that wasn't fast, the fastest for my setup that I was running and how I was wanting to drive the car. So, I mean, that was kind of unfortunate, but I knew my car would, hold together and be good at the end as well. So I was kind of just waiting and buying time until I felt like the move was right. Yeah, I mean, it was good, clean, hard racing between all three of us in that top 3. It was a lot of fun.
It absolutely looked like it was a blast there at the finish. When you tagged the wall, did that really affect your entry into the next corner as bad as it looked like it did?
I don't even remember. What lap did I tag the wall? Because I don't even remember, to be honest.
White flag. Coming to the white, you ate the wall on the front stretch.
Really? Hell, I honestly don't even remember that, to be honest with you. I was just so locked in and, the car in front of me and trying not to do anything with the car behind me and, and not intentionally or anything, accidentally get into him. Because I knew he was coming as well, because he was quicker than me. I just got a good restart towards the end, and that's just, it's kind of just how it goes on these races sometimes. Luck kind of falls your way. Kind of did with the restarts at the end for me. But, I don't think it affected me too bad. I tried to push it probably too hard at the end, but that's kind of what you got to do when you're trying to go for the win.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can't leave anything on the table. But next week we go into the house that Earl built in Eldora Speedway. What are your thoughts going into that one?
Man, it's hard to tell because these 360 cars, I've really sucked in them, honestly, ever since I've done iRacing. Normally the 410s I'm better. So the setups, I've been struggling more with the 360s. And Eldora, I'm really good in the 410, but the 360 I struggle. So, I mean, I run pretty much the same line, just, the hard line against the wall. Who doesn't love doing that at Eldora? I mean, come on. But
you got to run the Larson line there.
Oh, well, yeah, that too.
All right, Ty, who do you need to thank before we turn you loose to go celebrate the podium?
My friends over at Vanderpool Racing and also Jack Ritz. Me and him put in a lot of work to put together these setups. We do it totally on our own, and it's something we take pride in.
All right. Ty, again, congratulations on the podium. We'll see you next week at Eldora.
All right, thank you.
And Drake, I believe you've got John Helms with you now.
And John, no doubt about it, that first half of the race, you were the car to beat. You were the dominant car. What changed throughout the race that didn't allow you to stay up at the front?
About mid-race, I could feel like our car falling off a little bit. I think our gear was way too high because I was just spinning my wheels all the way down the straight. I felt good at first. I was a little bit loose. Me and Ryan made some contact. I was trying to not stack the whole field up, but unfortunately he sent it into turn 1 and I got sideways. He ran into the back of me, but yeah, I think the gear was the big thing.
You had some pretty big wall contact when you were racing Kenny Hoffman. First off, did it damage the car, and it compromised the way you were having to drive the rest of the race?
Definitely the first big hit when I was in 1, like right where the opening is. I smacked it with my right rear, and my car it didn't feel the same after. It was still, I would say, it's still a top 5 car, but I just didn't have the pace I did at the beginning.
Anybody you'd like to thank for getting you on the podium?
Yeah, first off, I'd like to thank you guys for broadcasting, putting on this show. Thank Josh. Thank all my sponsors, Majula C, Beanbag Designs, Chase Wolf Motorsports, and all my teammates.
John Helms rounds out the podium here for week number 2 of the Next Level Racing 360s.
Thank you, guys.
Well, Drake, we got another one in the books. Round number 2, done and dusted. And you wanted jet fighters in the gymnasium. We got that tonight in spades.
No doubt about it. Here's your feature event results. Next Level Racing 360s. Week number 2, I dare to say, was just about as entertaining, if not more entertaining, as week 1. Mention it, we go to the Big E, the house that Earl built, whatever you want to call it, Eldora Speedway next week for the Next Level Racing 360s. Tomorrow, the Apex Series, the big boys, the 410 Sprint Cars, thunder into Peevely. That one's going to be fun here. That one, no doubt about it, when you put 410s on this racetrack, that's as good, if not better, than the 360s. So that's going to be a show you don't want to miss tomorrow either.
Well, if you thought this was jet fighters in the gymnasium, wait till tomorrow night. These were trainer airplanes compared to what we're going to see tomorrow night. It's like a rocket ship that you try to steer and just try to keep it pointed in the right direction. That's about all you can do with a 410, especially with as slick as this track looked like it went and as quickly as it went slick.
You throw in 50 more cubic inches of a motor and another track that will probably be just as slick. I will say, tip of the cap to Sparky and everybody in race control for not working the racetrack, because
that's where you get the best racing.
It was great. I mean, I credit to those guys. They know what they're doing a lot more than I would. But tonight was the right call to not work on the racetrack, buzz it in for a few laps, just make it that little bit better. Perfect. Chef's kiss tonight for the racetrack.
Absolutely. But that is going to do it for us tonight. Congratulations to Kenny Hoffman for coming home with the victory here at I-55 Federated Auto Parts I-55 Speedway. Be sure to join us tomorrow night for the 410 series. That is going to about do it for us tonight for... Sorry about that, folks. Just saw a shiny. For Mr. Drake York, this is Tony Trapasso reminding you, ladies and gentlemen, that until we meet again and as you walk down the road of life this week, whatever you do, don't play in traffic. Good night, everybody.